Have you noticed that sometimes a single sentence from someone can ruin your mood for an entire day? Have you ever walked away from a conversation feeling like your energy was completely drained, even though nothing big actually happened? Maybe it was just one casual comment about your appearance. Maybe it was a cold remark about your effort. Maybe it was a fake joke that was actually a hidden insult. Maybe it was a little arrow, a sigh, a sarcastic tone. On the surface, it was small, but inside, something collapsed. You found yourself replaying it again and again, arguing in your head, wondering what you should have said, feeling angry, wronged, hurt, your entire day twisted around that one moment. Then you ask yourself quietly, why do I keep meeting this kind of person? Why do I always feel like I have to defend myself, explain myself, prove myself? Are there always people who seem to get some strange satisfaction from hurting or belittling others? The truth is that there will always be people like this in the world. People who are happy when you fail and sour when you succeed. People who stab you with words and pretend it was just a joke. People who mess things up and then blame you. People who never show up when you need support, but always appear when there is a chance to criticize. People whose presence feels like a cold wind in your life. When we are young, we fight. You argue, defend, explain, chop back, cry, slam doors, send long messages to clarify every detail. You cannot accept being misunderstood. You cannot stand being looked down on. You want to win every argument, correct every rumor, fix every person who treats us unfairly. You believe that if we just talk enough, explain enough, prove enough, the other person will finally understand, change, apologize, and treat us better. But have you noticed something? The more you argue with this kind of person, the more exhausted you become, and the more energized they seem to get. The more you explain yourself, the more they twist your words. The more you care, the more they play. You lose sleep thinking about them, and they sleep very well at night. You can pour out your heart, but they only hear what they want to share. You can show your sincerity, but they only look for weaknesses to attack. You can offer solutions, but they would rather continue the drama than truly mend anything. Some point, after being hurt again and again, you start to realize a painful but important truth. Some people do not want peace, they want chaos. Some people do not want understanding, they want control. Some people do not want truth, they want a story where they are always right and you are always wronged. And slowly, as you grow older, something inside you changes. And you were younger, every argument felt like a battlefield where you had to win or lose. Now, you begin to understand that the real battlefield is not between you and that it is inside your own heart. You begin to ask a different question. How can I defeat them? How can I make them admit they're wrong? But why am I still allowing myself to be dragged into this? This is where silence begins. Silence is often misunderstood. Many people think that when you become silent, it is because you are weak, scared, or unable to respond. They think that if you are quiet, it means you have no arguments, no courage, no power. But as you mature, you discover that true silence is not empty. It is full of strength. Silence is what happens after you have seen clearly that arguing with certain people is meaningless. Silence is what rises when you value your peace more than the thrill of proving someone wrong. Silence is what grows when you no longer feel the need to invite every passing dog to a barking contest. You stop explaining yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. You stop trying to open the eyes of those who are determined to keep them closed. You stop trying to clean yourself in the muddy water of someone else's unresolved pain. Real maturity does not mean you never feel anger. It means you no longer waste your anger on people who cannot hear your truth. Real strength does not mean you never get hurt. It means you stop handing your heart to those who treat it like a toy. Some point you realize that there is a name for these people in modern language: toxic people. In spiritual language, they are people whose inner wounds have turned into weapons. Their unresolved pain spills out as sarcasm, manipulation, coldness, constant complaining, endless drama. They were not evil monsters. Most of them were deeply insecure and lost, but that does not mean you must stay close to them. Compassion does not require self-destruction. You can understand someone's pain and still choose not to let them poison your life. So why do the most mature people become more and more silent? Because they finally learn the difference between what deserves their voice and what only wants their energy. Think about this in your own life. There was a time when you might have responded to every negative comment online, typing long replies to strangers who did not even know you. Perhaps you read the first line and simply closed the page. There was a time when you would argue with a family member for hours about the same topic year after year, hoping this time they would finally understand. Maybe you know exactly how the conversation will end, so you choose to smile, change the subject, or walk away. This is not giving up. This is growing up. Growing up is realizing that shouting in a storm does not stop the rain. It only drains your voice. You start to see that your energy is precious. Every day you wake up with a limited amount of attention, time, and emotional strength. If you spend it all on defending yourself to people who do not care about your truth, what will you have left for your dreams, for your loved ones, for your own healing, for your quiet joy? Imagine that your inner energy is like the flame of a candle in a wind. When you are constantly surrounded by people who blow on that flame with criticism, negativity, and disrespect, your light flickers and weakens. When you protect it with silence, with distance, with boundaries, the flame turns steady and bright. Let us look at a concrete story, because stories reflect our lives more clearly than abstract ideas. There was a woman named M. Near 20s, he believed that love meant staying, fixing, explaining, sacrificing endlessly. He had a friend who constantly belittled her. Whenever Emma shared a small success, her friend would say things like, "It's not a big deal, anyone could do that," or "You think you are special now." When Emma felt sad and turned to this friend for comfort, the friend would respond, "You are too sensitive. You always make things big. Their people have real problems." Emma was often hurt, but she kept trying. He thought, if I can just show her how I feel, he will change. If I'm patient enough, if I explain well enough, if I forgive enough, he will eventually value me. For years, he repeated this pattern. Long arguments, long messages, tears, apologies, promises, disappointment. The cycle never ended. One day, after another painful conversation, Emma sat alone in her room, exhausted. You realized that this friendship had never really made her feel safe or seen. had only made her feel small and doubtful. For the first time, a new thought appeared. What if the problem is not that he does not understand me? What if the problem is that I refuse to accept who she really is? In that moment, something inside her quietly broke and quietly healed at the same time. He saw clearly that this was not a person he could grow with, who was a person he had been trying to rescue in order not to feel alone. Her endless explanations had never changed the dynamic. He had only tied her more tightly to someone who did not respect her. So Emma did something he had never done before. He stopped talking. Not in a dramatic way, not with accusations or a big speech. He simply stopped feeding the connection. You replied politely but stopped sharing your heart. You let the distance grow. When the friend made another cutting remark, Emma did not arc. She just smiled lightly and found a reason to end the conversation. There was grief, of course. Letting go of someone you have known for years is never easy, even if they hurt you. But over time, Emma noticed that her inner world felt calmer. He had space to hear her own thoughts. He had energy to invest in people who were kind, supportive, and sincere. He had more time to read, to rest, to work on things he cared about. Her silence was not empty. It was full of new choices. This is what it means when we say that real strength is to stop entangling with toxic people, not because you hate them, not because you think you are better than them, but because you finally understand that your life is too valuable to be wasted in constant emotional wrestling matches that lead nowhere. In spiritual language, we could say that you are learning to protect your own karma. You realize that being around people who constantly trigger your anger, resentment, jealousy, or insecurity makes it very hard to keep your heart clean. The more you argue, the more you plant seeds of frustration and hatred in your own mind. Those seeds will sprout later in new situations, making your future even more chaotic. When you choose distance instead of drama, you are not only protecting your mood today, you are protecting your destiny. At the same time, you begin to see that silence is not always the best choice. There are moments when speaking is necessary, when setting a clear boundary out loud is an act of courage. Being mature does not mean you never say no. It means you know when to walk away and when to stand your ground. The difference lies in your intention. If you speak from a place of wanting to hurt back, your words will be weapons. If you speak from a place of clarity, simply stating what you will and will not accept, your words will be shields. Real maturity is being able to say, I respect myself too much to stay in this kind of interaction, without turning it into a dramatic scene. Another story. There was a man named David who had a colleague that everyone secretly disliked. This colleague loved gossip, loved stirring conflict, loved pointing out others' mistakes loudly in front of the group. Whenever David did something well, this colleague would say, "You are just lucky this time," or "I will see if you can do it again." Whenever something went wrong, the colleague would immediately say, "I told you this would happen," or "It is his responsibility." First, David tried to play along, to keep the peace. He laughed at the jokes, joined the lunches, listened to the gossip without saying much, but he felt dirty afterward, like he had participated in something low. He also noticed that this colleague often twisted his words later and used them in subtle attacks. One day, after being embarrassed in a meeting by a sarcastic remark, David had enough. He did not shout. He did not throw things. He just looked at his colleague, took a breath, and said in a calm but firm voice, "From now on, if you have feedback about my work, please speak to me directly in private. I'm not interested in public ridicule, and I'm not available for gossip anymore. Thank you." And he did something even more important. He changed his behavior. He stopped joining the gossip lunches. He kept his conversations polite but minimal. He worked well, helped others, and built connections with colleagues who were positive and professional. He stopped explaining his distance. He did not try to convince anyone that the colleague was toxic. You let his actions speak. First, the colleague reacted with more sarcasm, but when they saw that David did not engage, did not react, did not fight, the excitement faded. It is not fun to push someone who does not push back. Over time, the colleague looked for new targets. David's silence was not weakness, it was a clear choice. He took back his energy and used it to grow in his career instead of throwing it into daily conflict. When we refuse to tangle with toxic people, some of them will call us cold, arrogant, selfish, or fake. That is okay. They are losing their favorite gay. Of course they are not happy. But you have to decide what you value more, your image in the eyes of people who hurt you, or your own inner peace. Maturity is choosing peace again and again. It is choosing to walk away from a conversation that is going nowhere. It is choosing not to reply to a message that only wants a fight. It is choosing not to defend yourself to someone who has already decided their opinion. It is choosing not to chase someone who repeatedly shows you that you are not important to them. It is choosing to invest your time and love in people who are capable of receiving it with respect. Does this mean you cut off everyone at the first sign of imperfection? Everyone has bad days. Everyone speaks badly sometimes. Y'all have moments of pettiness, jealousy, impatience. The difference is pattern. Healthy person will sometimes hurt you, but they will also notice, reflect, apologize, grow. Toxic person will hurt you, blame you for being hurt, and then keep doing it. They do not change because they do not see any problem in their behavior. You cannot wake up someone who is pretending to be asleep. So as you become more mature, you stop wasting your breath on people who are committed to staying in their own darkness. You let them live their path, and you walk yours. From a spiritual perspective, this is not selfish. It is wise non-attachment. You recognize that every soul must walk through their own lessons. You cannot carry someone who does not want to walk. You cannot force someone to grow. You can model honesty, kindness, and clarity, but you cannot control their awakening. The more you understand karma, the less you feel obsessed with changing bad people. You see that their actions will return to them in time. You see that their unkind words are already a prison for them. Even if they do not know it yet, you see that their inner world must be a storm to create so much outer conflict. So instead of trying to fix them, you choose to bless them mentally and then step aside. You one day see clearly. You one day feel enough safety inside that you no longer need to attack others. You one day understand the pain you created and choose differently. And you turn back to your own path. What does your path look like when you stop entangling with toxic people? Looks quieter. First, this quietness can feel strange. You are used to constant noise, constant debate, constant drama. You might even feel lonely, but slowly, you realize that what you thought was liveliness was actually chaos. The quiet, your own thoughts become clear. You start to hear what you truly want, not just what others want from you. You notice small joys: sunlight on the floor, the taste of a simple meal, the softness of your bed, the feeling of finishing a task, the sound of your favorite song. You discover that peace is not boring. Peace is spacious. You begin to attract different people too. When you stop tolerating disrespect, you make room for those who respect you. When you stop over-explaining yourself, you naturally gravitate toward people who understand you without needing constant justification. When you stop gossiping, you find friends who talk about ideas, dreams, healing, learning. Your circle might become smaller, but it becomes deeper. You trade quantity of connections for quality of connection. You also have more energy for spiritual practice. Instead of using your mind to plan your next argument, you can use it to reflect, to meditate, to read, to write, to heal. Instead of replaying hurtful conversations in your head, you can replay teachings about compassion, impermanence, and letting go. It is often said that the wise are calm and quiet like deep water. That does not mean they have nothing to say. It means they choose carefully when and where to speak. Their silence is not emptiness, it is a sign that they are rooted in themselves, not chasing external validation. As you walk this path, you might notice that your standards for yourself also rise. You start to see the ways you have been toxic to others too. Times when you used sarcasm to hide your insecurity. Times when you gossiped to feel important. Times when you blamed others instead of taking responsibility. Maturity is not about pointing fingers outward. It is about turning the light back inward. When you see your own shadows, you become more patient with others' shadows, but also less willing to dance with them. You understand pain, but you do not excuse cruelty. There is a soft but powerful form of strength that grows in you. It is the strength of knowing what you deserve, not from a place of arrogance, but from a place of self-respect. You know you deserve basic kindness. You know you deserve honest communication. You know you deserve relationships where you can exhale instead of brace yourself. So, when someone repeatedly shows you that they cannot or will not offer these things, you gently step out of their circle, not with anger, not with revenge, just with a quiet, firm no. Oh, I will not stay in a conversation where you insult me. Oh, I will not enter arguments that only go in circles. Oh, I will not keep explaining myself to someone who enjoys misunderstanding me. Oh, I will not water a relationship where only one person shows up. And every time you say one of these no's, you are saying a big yes to yourself. Yes, my heart matters. Yes, my peace matters. Yes, my life is worth more than endless conflict. The world will not applaud you for this immediately. Some people will call you distant, hard, or uncaring. They do not see the journey you have walked, the nights you cried, the times you tried again and again. They only see that you are no longer available as a target. Let them think what they want. As you mature, you realize that not everyone needs to understand you. The ones who truly matter will see you more clearly over time. The ones who refuse to see you were never really with you to begin with. So, if lately you have noticed yourself becoming quieter, you not be too quick to judge yourself. Ask why. Were you silent because you are scared and suppressed? Then you may need to find your voice. Or are you silent because you have finally seen through the uselessness of certain battles? Then your silence is a sign of growth. Real strength is not loud, is not always visible, does not need to announce itself. It is in the way you choose not to reply when your fingers itch to type a long, angry message. It is in the way you walk away from a conflict instead of throwing another log on the fire. It is in the way you choose to protect your inner space instead of opening it to anyone who wants to dump their negativity into it. As you walk this quieter path, remember one more thing. Not everyone who hurts you is meant to be cut off forever. Some people are simply clumsy, stressed, or unconscious in certain moments. Part of maturity is learning to distinguish between someone who occasionally stumbles and someone who lives by burning others. You can forgive without going back. You can be kind without making yourself available for more harm. You can let someone go in your heart without wishing them bad luck. In the end, letting go of toxic entanglements is not about them. It is about you. It is about choosing to live a life where your energy is used to build, not constantly repair. It is about choosing relationships where there is mutual growth, not constant damage control. It is about choosing a mind that is clear enough to notice the beauty of this human life instead of drowning in other people's storms. So if you are at a stage of life where your world is getting quieter, do not be afraid. Instead of asking, "Why am I becoming so silent?" you might ask, "What am I finally done fighting for?" Maybe you are done fighting to be liked by everyone. Maybe you are done fighting with people who never listen. Maybe you are done fighting to keep relationships that are rotten at the core. So, then your silence is not a sign that you are fading. It is a sign that you are returning to yourself. And from that place, you can begin to speak again, but differently. You speak where your voice can bring light, not where it will only stir more dust. You speak to those who are open, not to those who only want a stage. You speak from truth, not from the need to prove. This is the quiet, steady power of those who are truly mature. They do not waste their life entangled with rotten people. They bow to their own soul, protect their own heart, and walk their path with a calm that does not need to shout to be real. There comes a time when you realize you want something that belongs just to you, something that brings comfort and keeps you connected to your inner world. Wall-crafted bracelet does exactly that. Quietly, softly, and consistently. If you felt drawn to any bracelet in this video, you'll find the purchase link in the video description and many more auctions in the channel's storefront. Because sometimes the smallest item can bring the biggest sense of peace.